So in this video we're going to have a look at the break-off shot. So we're going to have a look at why players break off the way that they do, and then we're going to look at a few tips and things for you to think about so that hopefully you can improve your own break-off shot. Right, so the first thing to note is that it's always an advantage for the player that gets to play the break-off shot. So if you watch the professional players on the TV, if they've got a choice between playing the shot themselves or putting their opponent in, they will always choose to play the break-off shot. So why is it best then for the player that gets to play the break-off? Well, effectively, you're playing the first safety shot of the game. Obviously, we've got a pack of reds and we haven't got any pots to go for, so we definitely need to play safe. But what we don't want to happen is for us to be in trouble. So straight away, instead of me being close to the cushion, because I've chosen to play the break-off, I can place the white exactly and precisely where I want in the D. So I can put the white in the middle of the D somewhere, I can get my hand nicely on the table, so I'm not in trouble, I'm not bridging off the cushion, and straight away I can hopefully play a good shot and leave my opponent in trouble. So when the professionals are playing the break-off shot, they're playing to hit this very last red on the bottom corner of the pack. So as we just discussed, it's an advantage for you to break off. So what you want to do is hit this last red. You're trying to disturb as few of the reds as you possibly can, and then get a good white back into bulk and put your opponent in trouble straight away. Now the next thing to look at is whereabouts exactly then do you place this white in the D when you're breaking off. So you can either place the white in between the green and the brown, or you can place the white in between the yellow and the brown. And neither one of these is better, it just comes down to personal preference. So I normally place the white in between the yellow and the brown, and what you're looking to do is get the white nice and close to the baulk line. And the reason for that is that you want to be able to get your bridge hand comfortably on the table like you would on any other shot, and form your normal stance with your bridge on the table so that everything in your technique is exactly where it should be and you can play a nice comfortable break-off shot. So we've got the white nice and close to the baulk line. The next thing to look at is, do we have the white closer to the yellow or closer to the brown? Now I would say that most professionals either have the white right in the middle of the two, between the brown and the yellow, or they favour getting that white closer over towards the brown. And I'm just going to try and explain now why they favour getting that white a little bit closer to the brown. So the reason why it's useful to get the white closer to the brown like that is it's going to enable you to have a bit more of a glancing blow off that final red. So the reason why that's useful is by having that glancing blow, you're going to make less impact with the rest of the pack, and then hopefully you'll disturb fewer reds and you won't leave your opponent an easy chance. So if we have a look zoomed in a little bit like that, so if the white was coming at that red from that angle, that's an exaggerated example of where it would be if you put the white further over towards the yellow. So you can see if the white was coming at that red from that angle there, you're having much more impact on that pack of reds and you're much more likely to free reds from the pack, and then you may stick a red over one of the corners for your opponent. Whereas if you can get the white further over to the brown, so your white was starting from somewhere more like that, you can see that now it's enabling me to come at that red from a bit more of an angle, and it's enabling me to have a bit more of a glancing blow, and hopefully I'll disturb fewer reds in the pack, and it's much easier to keep the shot safe that way. Right, so we're almost at the point now where we're ready to try and play this shot and execute the shot perfectly. So I normally place the white in between the yellow and brown, and I'm going to place it closer to the brown for the reasons that we've just talked about earlier. And what the players do here is, instead of hitting that last red and playing off it thin and just playing off two cushions, what the professional players do is they actually swing the white round and they play a figure of eight safety shot. So they come off the black cushion, off the side cushion, off this side cushion here by the baulk line, and then back into bulk. And what they're actually trying to do is, if I was breaking off from this side here, I'm trying to leave the white right on the bulk cushion here behind the green, hopefully snookering my opponent on the reds and making it very difficult for him to get an easy safety back into bulk. Now, the reason that the professionals choose to play the figure of eight safety shot round the table is that once they hit this final side cushion by the baulk line here, they've got a big margin for error for the white still being in a good position. So they've got all of this room here in the bulk area for them to still have an excellent white. So if they slightly underhit, they'll still have a good white, and even if they overhit the shot by quite a bit, they've still got a white that's behind the baulk line, and it makes it difficult for their opponent again to return a good safety. So if I place the white then next to the brown here, we've got all our things to think about, and how I'm playing this shot now then is with just plain ball and right hand side. So I'm trying to hit that red thin. I've got nothing on the white other than plain ball and right hand side to help it off the cushions. So if I play this now, and I've hit that side cushion here, and then I've got the white almost absolutely tight on the cushion there, and I'm not tight behind the green, but I've obscured my opponent enough that I'll be really happy with that. They've got the white really close to the baulk cushion, and it's very difficult for them now to play a return of safety and then get a good white ball. So once again, I hope you found this video useful, and you've now got some key things to think about with your own break-off shot. So I think it's a shot that a lot of people could take for granted, but actually, if you can think about some of the things that we've talked about in this video today, it's an opportunity right at the start of a frame to get your opponent in some trouble and hopefully create yourself a chance early on so you can score a few points. As usual, if you did like the video, please give the video a like, and if you want to see more instructional tutorials just like this one, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Cheers.